All right, so in this video, I'd like to show you how to create a simple button. Um, to create a simple button, you need to have three parts. The first part is the up. The up would be what the button looks like just as is. The over part of the button would be what it would look like if you hovered your arrow or your mouse over that button. And then the down would be what the button looks like when you go to press down and select the button to then bring it to another page. When you create a button, it's important to have different variation between the up, over, and down. If you don't, you may or may not create confusion for the person viewing your interactive animation. They may not understand if you don't have an over where a button is to then select and click on it to go move to another selection. So it's important to really try to create three different parts. I'm going to create a simple button by using the oval tool. So I'm going to click on the oval tool. I'm going to create this circle here. And this is going to be my button. This is the up part of my button. When you go to create a button, you do not need to create a timeline or add to your timeline. What you first want to do is go to modify. Whoops, I'm sorry. You first want to select your button, right? And then go, whoops, let me do that again. Select your button, go to modify, and go to convert to symbol. When you go to convert to symbol, you can name this button whatever you would like to remember whatever that button is, or keep it symbol 1. And you might have it right now on movie clip. So what you want to do is change it to button. When you go to change it to button, you're going to hit OK. And what it's going to do when you is nothing actually when you click OK. What you need to do is double click on the circle, right? And when you double click on that button, you have your symbol timeline that comes up, or your button timeline. So you have up, over, down, and hit. Please disregard hit. Do not use it. We're not using it right now. Pretend like it doesn't exist. I want you just to remember up, over, and down. So our up button, what it would look like normally would look like this, right? But when I go to create my over button, I want to change it slightly, okay? So what I'm going to do is select this, well, I'm going to select my over, right? And I'm going to insert a keyframe. So when I insert keyframe, it creates a little bullet there, or like a point, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this a little bit. I'm going to change the shape of it slightly. So I'm going to have it get just a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm envisioning that when I go to hover over this button, it gets bigger to notify the viewer that we're selecting this button, right? Or you could potentially select it. And then when I go to down, I'm going to insert another keyframe, and I'm going to change this again. Okay, so when I hit the down button, I'm going to have it change color. Okay, so maybe I'll have it change to green. So when I initially see the button, it's going to look like this. When I hover over it, it's going to be a little bit bigger, right? And then when I hit down on it, it's going to turn green, right? When you create buttons, in order to get back and forth from each of your timelines, right? Because this would be the symbol 1 timeline. You can see that there are markers here. So I have scene 1 and symbol 1. So when I go to, if I want to go back to my timeline of my animation, I'm going to click on scene 1, right? If I would like to go, and this is my button, so I'm going to name this button. If I would like to go back to my button, I'm going to double click on here and it's going to bring me back to my button, right? So that's how you kind of go back and forth between a button and your animation. All right, so I would like you to create something like this and hand it in to the assignment for today.